What's going on, guys? Hey, I hope you're having a great evening. We're here live every Sunday to talk about some fun stuff in the home arcade space. This today is going to be a very special episode because we're going to talk about this auction that I went to in Des Moines. We're going to be talking about that auction, what things were sold, and buyer beware, there are some things that you definitely want to look out if you're looking into going to auctions and buying things there, because there was definitely some insane deals at this auction. But was it worth it? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Hey, everyone in the chat. We got Darth. He's saying hello. We got Kevin. What is up, man? And we got Matt Astra. We got Retired Night Owl. Andy is back for another fun night. That's right. So last night, Saturday night, I went ahead and did a live stream. If you're new to the channel and enjoy long-form content, if you like an old dude chatting at you, I don't know, maybe you listen in the drive, you know, your commute, that's cool. I know some people like put earbuds in late at night. It helps them go to sleep. Maybe I'm that type of person where you're like, I can listen to this guy and fall asleep right away. That's cool. Come hang out with Console Kids. Don't forget to hit subscribe. What did I just say? Don't forget to hit subscribe. That's right, 70%. Can you believe that? 70% of the people that watch my content in the last 28 days are not subscribers. That's right. I'm so excited. There's like so many, this like striking oil. It's just right there. I just haven't found it yet. And you guys wonder why I always ask you to hit subscribe. 70% unsubscribed? That's crazy. So today I thought I would go, can I talk in a podcast and pour a cold snap at the same time? I didn't get much head, not much. It's a little bit. What do you guys think? Rate this out of a 10. How is this pour? Samuel Adams Cold Snap is what I'm going to be drinking tonight on this podcast. Want to talk about the auction, and man, there's going to be some crazy... I didn't do it right. My wife's going to be so upset. Yeah, it's a 4. She told me, she was like, if you pour it with a good amount of head, then it'll be great for the podcast. But if you don't, it's going to be horrible. It still tastes good, though. Very good. Let's see how I get through that. Okay. Before we get any further, guys, I really want to show you this, okay? So there's some really interesting things that happened yesterday, April 1st. I'm just picking one. There was one April Fool's, just one, that I'm going to show. Maybe you guys saw it on Facebook. Yesterday I was at the auction. And so, when I was at the auction, I was like, not paying attention to social media or anything like that. And then I come back and I see something crazy. Could I say insane? So I don't know if someone photoshopped this, if this was legit Arcade 1-Up. Tell me in the chat if you know the source of this. But I saw a thread on Facebook where they're like, Arcade 1-Up looks weird right now. Obviously, this is an April Fool's joke, but who did the April Fool's? Was it some person on Facebook, or was this actually live on Arcade 1-Up's website for a little bit? I don't know. But if you look at it, it's an off-road. Now, what's interesting is at the auction that I went to, there was an off-road. And I was like, this thing looks great. The screen looks really good. I played some off-road at an arcade recently, and it got me excited about off-road, maybe owning one, but I always thought it's just too big. And I want to talk about that. Like, in general, you probably don't know about this. Been collecting arcades of many sorts and sizes for a while, and I've been selling a ton. Like, I was almost going to call this podcast, I'm done with full-size arcades, but it wouldn't be exactly accurate. Not really done. I'm just very selective. And I'll cut to the punch. The size is super important to me. There's like this magical size when it comes to arcade machines where it's not too large and it's not too small, that it's easy for me to move around the house by myself. That's kind of the key thing. And so I've been doing these tests with the arcade, and unfortunately it looks like Road Blasters failed the test. It's in my garage now. I could enjoy it for the summer. I kind of shut things down in the garage-cade during the winter, but I got 2 pinball machines up there that I'm going to bring downstairs. That one's an exception. The Pinball 2000s, I'm going to bring those down myself with a friend, that's, I will get help for that. But the Road Blasters, I want to be able to remove that in 2, 3, 4 years if I want to trade out to a different arcade and be able to move that myself, not hire help or get a friend that expects me to buy dinner for the next 3 months, that type of thing. And then at the auction, at the very end, I'm going to jump to this very end of this story, I saw that the off-road, did I say Outrun earlier? I'm not sure. The off-road that they had, it comes apart so beautifully. I didn't know that it came apart so beautifully. To get this thing, this is a real machine we're talking about. I wish I would have filmed it. I could show it to you guys. The removal of the control panel, completely changes the width of the machine to be able to move around. And it almost looks like the topper part comes off. I don't know, but I saw a crease and I was like, wait, would this actually be pretty easy to get on a dolly? Again, super important to me. The Williams cabinet is perfect. I got a Williams down here by myself. It's just perfect. A tiny little $100 dolly, you could do it yourself, down into a basement. No big deal. Well, I got to walk out, but I still have to go over grass and it's bumpy. Okay. That's kind of my little thought on it, but it's why I go to these auctions. Maybe there'll be an insane deal, or maybe I need to sell some cabs. Maybe you need to listen to this podcast because there's information in this that maybe will help you. If you're deciding to go to an auction, buyer beware. You would be the buyer. You need to beware of some of these things that I saw at this auction. And the prices are going to shock you. And then I need you to calm down. You're going to go to 11. Oh my God, Justin, why didn't you buy it? Then you got to calm down. It's okay. Now I'll tell you why sometimes bigger isn't better. And sometimes those arcade nuts out there that are like, oh, you just brought up Arcade 1-Up? Oh, I'm not even listening anymore. Literally, I was talking to a guy. For a moment, he said that to me. He's an arcade operator in Iowa City. And boy, I was like, well, what do you do to mod your arcades? And he starts describing things that are worse than Arcade 1-Up. And I'm like, so you scoff at an Arcade 1-Up, but you're fine with a 60-in-1. You're fine with an LCD. You're fine with things that are legit worse than an Arcade 1-Up. Because the wood is better? Oh, wait, in this case, the wood wasn't better. So it's okay for you to be right about full-size arcades are better than an Arcade 1-Up when I objectively could go through the list of everything that's in your parts that are worse than an Arcade 1-Up. The LCD in his situation was worse. The PCB board that he's using on these games was worse. The emulation is worse. The sound is worse. But it's better? And then today, or I should say yesterday, at this auction, there was things being sold, I kid you not, worse than a Gen 1 Arcade 1-Up. And the prices that they went for will shock you. You should, well, I don't want you to vomit. I mean, you should vomit, but you shouldn't vomit. You understand? It's an analogy. I'm making an analogy that you should vomit. I'm not actually saying that you should puke. It's just an expression, okay? I gotta say that because sometimes there's some people in the chat that are like, literally, they start doing these emoticons of puking, and it gets me worried that you're actually think I'm serious. But I'm not. I'm not, okay? All right, so last time we did this in December, let me show you this. So in December, we went to this auction, and I'm not going to go through the entire video. It's 11 minutes. I'm going to jump to the end. I'm going to show you the type of prices and machines that we got to see in December. And these type of machines were pretty exciting, man. The fact that we would get, even this custom one here, this Donkey Kong Custom, but the price went for pretty high. I think it was around $1,500 that this thing ended up going for. The prices that were at this auction were even better. There it is, that $1,500 at that previous auction. Now, this auction was much bigger. It had a lot of bigger space. Then we had this Ms. Pac-Man. This has a 16-1 in it. This was from the last auction, $1,000 that it went for. Now, I did like this. It was a pretty good, actually, deal because the frame and the cleanliness of the actual machine was really nice. They had some pinball machines. An old one went for $325. It's a pretty good price for that. This is one that I sold. Is that right? This was my... no, this wasn't mine. This was another one. I can't remember. Was this mine? $600? No, I sold mine for like $900. So I was competing. Yeah, this wasn't mine because mine had a better top to it. Let's see. So there was an arcade 1-ups to the last auction that went for like nothing, $70 or so. I think I sold like an XL cabinet for $300. They had a real Tempest, but it needed some work. Anyway, they had a lot of good machines, $400. But here's what's cool. A lot of the machines at the last one were projects. So these were project machines that you could buy and kind of fix them up. And so you could restore. They were authentic machines. All of them were real machines that you could get and restore and then make them authentic. Yeah, I'm saying that word authentic for a reason multiple times. There's an arcade 1-up that's maybe not authentic. Here's the arcade 1-ups, not authentic. But, you know, they are actually licensed. The Superman, not authentic. It was an, what is it called? The Xavier, I can't remember the exact title off the top of my head. Went for a pretty good price, but it had an authentic PCB inside it. So that was the last auction, just a recap of kind of what we're talking about, what type of machines that you could, you know, expect at these type of auctions. Let's jump over to this auction. Now, on the surface, let's go through it, okay? On the surface, you're like, wow, Street Fighter II Champion Edition. Look how beautiful this is. It's got a coin door. We got this joust. Look at the control panel. Look how beautiful it is. Look at the marquee. This is a great marquee. This is a joust machine. If you ever wanted to get a dedicated machine, there you go. They even have a Frogger. Look at this marquee. Doesn't it look beautiful? Look how the the speaker grills match the color. You got the team molding. You got, a coin mechanism in there. And all of those features are going to be great. We're going to take a look at this again. And then we're going to talk about more machines. So here's the Street Fighter. Look at it. Kind of reminiscent of the Arcade 1-Up XL series. You see that speaker grills? So they've upgraded the speaker grills on this machine, right? And it kind of makes it look like a pretty fascinating machine. And then you start wiggling the sticks. That seems good. Let's take a look at this stick. Well, nope, that's not right. But that's okay. You could fix that, right? You could fix that machine. You know, a stick is no big deal. The buttons feel pretty good, no big deal. I mean, hey, it plays Street Fighter, right? So you should totally get it, especially if it's a good price. That's what everyone's thinking, right? You're thinking, if I can get this at a good price, then it's worth it. Now, out of all the machines that are in there, I was actually pretty interested in this Joust machine. It looked very authentic. The artwork looked clean. It didn't look like it was dirty, and this coin door looked nice and fresh. It looked like everything on these machines had been upgraded. I start feeling the sticks, and, the sticks aren't great, so that's fine. I can upgrade the sticks, and it feels good. And some people in the chat are calling out, well, they got LCD screens, but that's okay, right? The LCD screens can be just fine. You don't have to worry about the CRT going out. That is something that you definitely don't want to worry about because, maintenance, right? Maintenance on these machines is something that you don't want to worry about. So you can forgive that, It's like it's already got a CRT in it. You don't have to swap it out from a CRT. I'm sorry, it already has an LCD in it. You don't have to swap out that CRT. And you kind of take a look at these sticks, and maybe they're not the greatest. Again, you can swap those out. So Frogger, what do you think of Frogger? It's a pretty good game here, and I was playing it for a little bit, and I suck at Frogger, so, there you go. Track and Field. When it comes to Arcade 1-Up, this is a game that we've been begging for a very long time. Now, this auction actually had 2 track and fields, and we'll talk about that in a second. Again, look how clean this machine is. If you get it for a good price, you would totally go for it, right? So Constorm is like, these look neat, but they're totally charging $1,000, right? We'll get into the price in just a little bit. Again, these prices will shock you. Let me take a drink, guys. So I was playing around with this one and going, what's the emulation feel like? Is the screen tilted in such a way where it'd be actually something practical that I'd want to buy? And of course, right, it does have an LCD screen, and you can kind of see it. Like, there's a lot of lights on the overhead, And so there's a lot of glare, but ignore the glare just for a second. Then they got a Donkey Kong, right? Everybody wants a Donkey Kong, but you look closer at it, and this one's not in perfect condition. You can kind of see at the bottom of it, it's got a little bit of dirt, it's not very clean at the very bottom. There's actually a big gouge on the right-hand side where the artwork has been kind of chipped away. And I was trying to take a look at the inside. It's an LCD. It does look pretty clean because just the way the Donkey Kong is set up, it looks clean. Then they got this huge Mortal Kombat, right? Compare this one to the arcade 1-up. This is something Zohar would definitely want to buy, right? Because it's got Pacina on the side. Like, arcade 1-up did not get the correct artwork on their 30th anniversary of MK1, the MK1 machine. But hey, it's got an LCD. That means it's not going to be as heavy. So you can rationalize that. Look at that control panel. It's this really big control panel, right? And you play with the sticks, it looks pretty good. You go down and you're like, okay, it's in pretty neat condition. Okay, you're like, nope, not gonna buy this one, right? You're smart, you're looking at it, you're looking at that marquee and going, that marquee does not look very good. Like, the blacks don't look very black. The artwork doesn't look that great, and it's got a 60-1 in it, right? So the 60-1 is like, if you're an educated person about the 60-1, the emulation is not very good. It's got the worst chipset than an arcade 1-up Gen 1, right? And look at that. Look at the TN monitor on that guy. You really going to buy that 16-1? It doesn't even look very good far away. Then they had this bowling machine here. This bowling machine wasn't even on. They didn't end up selling it, but the guy was willing to sell it to anyone who was interested for $300. Then they have an authentic Pac-Man. Wait, it's not authentic. It's got a CRT in it, but it's still got a 60-1. So here it is. These are some of the best games of all time are right here at this auction. Look at it. It's all of our favorite titles. Every single one of our favorite titles of the AAA titles. They look great. They look crisp. But there's one thing wrong with every single one of these machines. Almost all of them are fake. They're all fake. They're not real. It's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. Street Fighter 2, fake machine. Joust, fake machine. Frogger, fake machine. Track and Field, fake machine. Donkey Kong, fake machine. Mortal Kombat, fake machine. Class of 1981, fake machine. All of them. The reproduction units. And while we were there was a group of people that understood this and understood what they were bidding on. Reproduction units, not authentic at all. Do you understand the importance of the authenticity of an arcade? One of the main reasons why I love the PlayChoice 10 that I have, it's not fake. That machine was played by children of the 80s, like me. We played that machine, and it brings us joy. It's almost like that machine has history inside it. Think of the hundreds, maybe thousands of quarters that have gone into that authentic machine. Maybe it's been recapped. Maybe it's got that CRT on it from a different machine, but it's got the original board. It's original. The authenticity is what gives it value. And people are willing to spend. That PlayChoice that I have is probably valued at $2,000. Why? Because it's real. It's not fake. And I tell you, these machines, guess what? $500, $600. That's all they went for. Do you know why? Because they are fake. And they weren't fooling us. They weren't fooling us. There were a handful of people that I saw at the auction that didn't understand it. The class of 1981. He was shouting out bidding. And this other guy's like, why are you bidding that high on it? He's like, dude, those things go for like $1,500. And everyone's like, but it's not real. It doesn't. Yeah, that's right. The MK let me go through the price list. I'm going to jump straight to the price list right now. So, starting at the bottom, there's a few more cabs we'll talk about. I'll talk about what's inside this exact lineup here. This Street Fighter, let's see, I'm sorry, I'm probably screwing you up. This Street Fighter went for $500. Joust, $600. Frogger, see, I'll just play the video and talk over it. The Frogger went for $600. Track and Field, $625. Donkey Kong, $675. Mortal Kombat, $600. Remember, I was telling you there was this one guy that was bidding it up? He eventually bowed out, but he bid it up. $825 is what it ended up going for. And so the reason why I have these prices, and I want to talk about that, I'm going to show you some more footage of the arcade here, some of the other things they had while I talk about it. My daughter came to the arcade with me, and it was a fantastic experience. She loves to organize things. She helped me organize this entire event. So I'm sitting here staring at a spreadsheet that she created on her phone in notes, and she kept track of every single machine in the entire auction, named it, labeled it, and what the price went for, and notes of the quality of each one of those machines. There's that this off-road that I was talking about. And I just realized I'm in 2X mode. Maybe that's okay. Maybe you're freaking out because it's in 2X mode. So they had the Simpsons. What did the Simpsons go for? Simpsons, let me scroll to that. Simpsons went for $525. And I'm looking at these notes. Legendary Wings, that was mine actually, sold $250. I'm happy with that. Centauri ended up buying back, but I ended up selling it afterwards for $600. That's pretty good. Let's see. There was some fun pinball machines right there. Oh, I just realized this 2X is probably driving people crazy. I'm sorry about that. Let me... so it kind of had some old casino machines. Everything over there went cheap. There was one of these pinball machines that went pretty good. For sure she wrote that down. Let me see. The Midway Little League pinball machine went for $500. The Captain, fantastic pinball, amazing artwork on the side, $275. The Star Explorer was $100. There was a little fruit bonus, 96, $15. I love it. I'm going through this spreadsheet that she put together, and she has marked by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which will come back around in just a second. Fake, 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 fake is what she's got notated on all of those, because I told her like how to recognize if it's fake. You go into the back of the machine and you won't see a stamp. You won't see anything like that. You'll see kind of this bare wood. And she went to all those machines and marked them like that one's fake, that one's fake, that one's fake. See, these are some of the other machines. This one's mine actually that I sold. It was a project. I was able to get my money back on that one. What did it go for? Like $75? So that worked out pretty good. I bought back this one. It didn't go high enough. I was trying to get about $800-900 for it. I was able to buy it back at $650. I thought that was pretty good. Like, imagine if I bought it for $650. That's a pretty good deal. The Neo Geo I finally got rid of as well. That was mine. And that machine, I sold it back to the guy who sold it to me. He got a pretty good deal. I didn't bid him up. I let him take it. $350, I want to say. The Zaxxon, I got my money back on that one. Broke even. I think the Zaxxon was the best one there. It was real. It was authentic, vertical. The screen looked great. The controls were great. It needs some little work on the coin mechanisms there that could be replaced. This was also mine, the Ultimate 11. Got my money back on that one. So I didn't make a gigantic profit on any of the 9 machines that I sold at this auction, but I did a lot of networking, and that was pretty fantastic. I met a lot of cool people, owner-operator, and then made a deal with a couple guys. They want me, I have a couple more machines that they're interested in putting in their arcades that I would have to maintain. So I'm working out that. I love that idea. I might actually buy some more machines, dedicated machines that are nice and clean. I can maintain them and make sure they're going to stay in really good quality. This was the authentic track and field that they also were selling there. So this is really interesting. That original track and field had the all original stuff in it. Well, how much did that one go for? Let me see if I can find that one in the mix here. So the fake one went for $625. Let's see how much the real one went for. If I can find it. It's near the asteroids, right? I want to say. They had a lot of machines here, so it's kind of hard to kind of find it. Let me just search in this page for it. Track and field. So look for track. Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay. Oh, I didn't grab it. It's possible we don't have the price. I want to say it was like $800. Yeah, she may have missed that one. Or it's... I can't go through it. Anyway, there was also a ton of signs they sold, which was really funny. I never really got into the signs. And it was funny, that guy right there behind those two guys I was chatting with, they're really nice guys that are in the reflection there. The one guy owns like a barcade. No, it's like a gaming thing in Iowa City. I'm going to go check it out. It sounded really cool. And he's the one I sold my, what was it? The Centauri Eagle. He loved it. And in another video, I noticed, yeah, that guy right there, you can see, he was like playing the Centauri Eagle like crazy. And later he was like, I was bidding against him and I ended up buying back the Centauri Eagle. That's the rules at this auction. Like they want you to hit your reserve. You bid as well. And so I was ready to let it go. I had broke even. I was good. If someone else wanted to buy it and I'm a wash, I'm good. So right when I got to that high amount, let me pause this for a second so I can explain it. I went like this to indicate to the auctioneer that I'm out. I'm good. To let the other guy have it. And that was this guy. And he wanted it. He had never played it before. And then later I talked to him and he was like, man, I was looking it up and I saw all these special things about the Eagle game and I started playing it and started getting to those high scores and it was just great. And I'm like, man, it is a really cool game. And it qualifies, it's under the qualification for me to keep it because it's small and I can maneuver it myself. But I kind of played through it and I'm allowing, someone else can enjoy it. He's going to put it in his arcade. So he's like, if you want to play it, come to Iowa City. But anyway, when I raised my hand at the auction to say I was out, I was watching the auctioneer, and the other person that was bidding was about a 45-degree angle from his eyesight, like across this way. So he was looking at me, and I raised my hand to indicate I'm out, but what he saw was me just raising my hand up. So he thought I was confirming I'm still in, and he turned his head, and right as he turned his head, I went like this, and I was like, what? He didn't see. And he's like, now we're at 600, going once, going twice, sold it your way. And I was like, I didn't call it out. I was like, whatever. The buyback is $10. So it's like, I own it now, but I only lost like $10. I still own it. But then I was like, you want it? He's like, yeah, I want it. I was like, well, they messed up. Let me just pay you. Or he just paid me. And then I sold it to him and we chatted for a really long time. So all of that I thought was a really fun time. It was really enjoyable to kind of go to the auction, kind of feel the energy that's in the room. There were a lot of different machines that were authentic, that were very nice. And then I had conversations with many people afterwards once the auction was done. And the debate was, what's better, those fake machines versus an arcade 1-up? And so some of the people were explaining with those fake machines that, look, they got an LCD in it. Okay, so does Arcade 1-Up. And, but the LCD that they put in Arcade 1-Up is actually good. They're the BOE monitor. Here's the thing. Some of these LCD machines that I think we'll show in the video, I think there was a TMNT that I haven't showed yet. I think it'll show it. Maybe. I definitely tweeted that one. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles went for $600, and I've met the guy that actually bought it. And I was like, you got it? And he's like, yeah. And he immediately was like, he knows, right? He's like, I'm going to turn it into a multicade. And I started thinking, okay, I mean, if you're going in like, hey, it's a 4-player multicade, and it's not original, and what I've been told, what one of the arcade owners there kind of running it was saying that all of those fake machines were running a single board computer. He goes, I don't know if it's a Raspberry Pi, but they looked inside. I didn't get any pictures on the inside. We'll see. Yeah, Tony is saying put a 19-in-1 in the Joust Repro. Perfect. And so this is what I was debating with. Like, I'm sitting here. All of these machines were machines that I think this is when that one arrived. Yeah, it looks like I was going around. Oh, that was another one I sold, the Mr. Dew cocktail on the right. I got my money back on that. I made a profit on that one. That one was pretty exciting. I think I made like $50 in the end. Like, I had it for a while, and then I held on to it, and then I sold it. Yeah, let me show you some other stuff. So I just realized this video I hadn't gone through. We'll kind of talk over while we're going through it. So those fake machines I was really curious about because, okay, they went for $500-$600. That's very similar to what the Arcade 1-Up price is for just their deluxe cabinets. But here's the problem. The Joust, I'll agree with you. The commenter, that was the World Series. What did that one go for? Let me see if I can find that. World Series. One thing I'll agree with is that Joust looked the best. It actually did look very good. World Series. I wonder if she missed a few, or it's like my search isn't working. Let me see. I'm trying to search inside this page. There's just so many items. It's hard to like keep track of which one's which. So, I'll try to find it. The World Series. That might have been missed. Oh, wait, I'm getting near where... No, I may have missed it. Okay, so that's that screen. So the Joust was probably the best looking out of all of them. And I think this Defender, you see this little Defender Joust? This was an interesting one where it went for $275. It was actually pretty nice. For that price. Like, I was thinking of bidding on it. It was in the 100s for a while, and I was like, it's not too bad. That race car was kind of fun. They had this Buck Hunter thing. It was like a dual, what is it called? Like a 2-player countercade looking thing. If you kind of look on the other side there, you can see it. I would have 2 screens. That one went for a few hundred. And so then there's that cocktail. It's all scratched up. This one, I think this one went for less. It has 60-in-1. And then the one that I had was authentic Mr. Dew. Had a Mr. Dew board in it. Let's see. Trying to look at some of these prices here. Yeah, I found it. The World Series. Get this. The World Series went for $275. The Off-Road went for $600. Then they had this Asteroids, and my buddy Jason bought this. He said it was working when it arrived, and he knows exactly how to fix it. I think he got it for $300. And so the seller kind of messed up on that one. Like, he couldn't get it running. Yeah, Nooner, you're like, oh, you would have bought that World Series 99? Yeah, so some of them are good. I'm gonna go through all the prices now, just kind of run through them, see if I can play another. I'll play this fake video for you while I run through it. So see if there's anything. There was a dartboard that was really nice. Had one of those black and white Magnavox like monitors inside it. It was called an English Mark Darts. That went for $300. There was something else that went for $40. The Asteroid Arcade, that went for $300. That big, what was it, like SNK shooter? Did you see it? It was big like Terminator. That guy went for $110. So that was good. Found it. The Track and Field, the authentic Track and Field, went for $775. There was something called the Champion TF Racing Team Arcade, went for $85. That Pac-Man Cabaret I bought back for $650. The Neo Geo Arcade went for $370. He got a deal on that one. He said he would owe me on that one because he's the one who sold it to me. Whatever. He's a nice guy. Maybe he'll give me some free access to his arcade or something. Zaxxon, which I bought for $400, sold for $400. There's a little bit of fees in there, but hey, I got to own it for maybe a year and a half, I want to say. So got some enjoyment out of it, some nostalgia. I'm happy with that. The Ultimate 11, that was mine, 175. So that one had a 1 slot in it and an authentic SNK board. That was going to be a project board, but for reasons I will explain, I ended up selling it and it was not authentic enough to become a Sinistar, is where it was at. I was going to convert it to a Sinistar, but it wasn't authentic enough to be able to do that. It was originally a Williams machine, and I was going to convert it back to a Williams machine and then just sell the board and the SNK parts that are inside it. But when I actually got it, because it was sight unseen purchase on that Ultimate 11, it was going to be too much work. So I ended up just flipping it. I'm fine with it. Let's see. There was a whole bunch of... I don't think I have any pictures of it. There was a whole bunch of these like casino machines. They all went for $1. All of them. $1. They almost couldn't give them away. Let's see. The X-Men arcade, that was an arcade 1-up, went for $270. There was an arcade 1-up, new in box, $270. Pretty good deal, actually. Let's see. The Super Stick Hockey, $10. Let's see. Let's skip some of these things because they're kind of miscellaneous items. There was a gigantic Philips 66 sign, went for $300. A giant 76 red circle sign, $550. And I started learning a whole bunch about that. I guess some of these signs are collector's items. And they're like, oh yeah, and in fact, the people that bought it, I was chatting with someone else, and they're like, they're the ones that own an arcade down in Knoxville, and they're totally going to put it, like these big, gigantic signs from like, it says 76 on it, right, with red circle. They're going to put up high on their wall in their arcade to kind of add to that atmosphere. There was a gigantic Sonic drive-in sign. Evidently, that guy is not very... It only went for $50. So there was a miscellaneous other signs. There were some gumball machines. My buddy Arthur was there. He owns a couple arcades. He's opening up another arcade in September. I'm hoping to help him with that. We've been talking about it. He even mentioned about doing like business partnership for that arcade. He's going to do about 40 machines. I won't get into it. He's going to do an awesome arcade, and he's going to do some really fun stuff in there that I was very passionate about. So I said I would help him where I can. I was thinking about like going in business with him on it, but I said, let me do like maybe an operator deal, and he was cool with that. But he bought a whole bunch of gumball machines for $80. It was great. I was almost interested in it, but I saw he was bidding on it. I'm like, it's all you, Arthur. He owns a candy store as well. His candy store is awesome. He lets my daughter buy candy from his candy store with employee discounts. So that's freaking cool. That Defender Joust bar top that we talked about earlier, verified $235 is what it ended up going for. Let's see. Then that floor rocker, if you saw it, that went for $25. Let's see what else we got that's interesting. The Simpsons arcade. The Simpsons arcade that you probably saw earlier, $525. That was fake. Get this. What would you rather have? The fake Simpsons arcade or the off-run arcade? The off-run arcade went for $600. That was awesome. Now, let's see. Let me go through another line. I think there's a video here that I can show you that I was also very impressed with some of these machines. Sorry if that's... yeah, I'm going to go like that so you're not seeing me swipe so quickly. Hope I don't want that to be dizzy on you. I just realized this is a very visual show, so if you're listening or driving, that's not very enjoyable. Let's try to find it. So I want to show you some of these real big, Roth Rills machine that they had and start talking about the prices of some of these machines, what they went for, some of the ones that I was actually excited about. And then as I saw them tear apart, I was like, these things are on wheels. They come in multiple pieces. And with those pieces, it's pretty impressive. Like, maybe you don't have the space, but you could move them around. So let's take a look at it. The Steel Italian sit-down arcade, which I think is this guy right here. It's very big, needed some work, only the right monitor work. If you wanted that, it was available. It ended up going for $50. Now let's take a look at these crazy units. That Terminator Salvation, make your guess on that in your mind here. Terminator Salvation went for $1,400. Right next to this is the Blazing Angel sit-down arcade. This was a lot of fun to play. It had like knockers in it, so when you were getting attacked, it was like really loud when you were getting attacked. It was kind of interesting. I was playing it, and there was ambient sound, and you could hear the engine of you flying around. It was a lot of fun. I was actually playing it while it was being auctioned off, which kind of gave it a little bit of excitement. Like, I sat down right before they started auctioning off, so I was like the guy that was kind of demoing it. That was fun. It was a very, very fun game. But I couldn't really hear any of my shooting. It was like something was wrong with the special effects, so maybe you got to turn up the volume on that. Maybe it's broken, I don't know. Or maybe it's part of the game. This guy went for $1,500. And then on the right there, there's this weird Cyberbot sit-down. That one, I actually panned away from it. You can't see it because there was a kid on it, and I didn't really want to capture a kid's face, just privacy reasons and stuff. This H2 Overdrive sit-down that's on the left there, they had 3 of these little H2 Overdrives, and one of them went for $900, and these split apart, and I saw the guy loading it. He had a really big trailer, and I think it was him and his wife and his brother or something like that. It looked really cool. I think they probably owned an arcade or something like that. These were very fun to play. There was a lot of kids that were playing them. 2 of them went for $1,400. So at these auctions, what they'll do is they'll do like a buyer's choice. So, it bid all the way up that first time, went to $1,400, and they're like, how many do you want? And they're like, let's do 2. Most likely what happened, I don't think I was paying close attention on this one, but in the notes, Evelyn, my daughter, she put in $1,400 for 2 because I think it was a buyer's choice. And then one of them went for $900. It was probably the one on the right. It was turned off, so it's like maybe it had some issues on it, so maybe that they bid that one on there separately. Dude, Biggie D. Remember last time on my stream I said you had a doppelganger? That's the guy on the right. That's Biggie D. That's Iowa Biggie D on the right there. Do you see him? Okay, there's a little kid there. Maybe I pan around. Oh, no, I saw the kid, and I'm like, I'm out of here. Okay, let's see if we can see Iowa Biggie D. There it is. Oh, you can't see his face. Here, let me go out of full screen, and I want to bring the screen down so you can see it. Everyone check out Iowa Biggie D. Right there. Right there, man. From the front, it was Biggie D's arcade 100%. Even on the side, you can kind of see it. Like, dude, and here's the thing, Biggie D. Look closely. If this guy dresses cooler than you, this is the wardrobe you need to get. Like, he basically looks exactly like you. I don't know if he's cooler or not. He did buy some really cool stuff, so maybe he is cooler than you. That's right. It's Iowa Biggie D. I'm so happy that Iowa Biggie D got in the shot. I don't know, Biggie D. Do you got a little goatee there? Because the Iowa Biggie D does. For those that are listening, you have no clue. There's a content creator named Biggie D's Arcade. He's in the chat right now. And if you ever watch his content, he's a unique looking person. I just mean, he looks like Biggie D. That's who he looks like. But there just so happens to be another person on the internet that looks just like him. Or at least he's on the internet now because I'm showing him. All right, so they got the World Series, and then there's that off run. Now I'm like kicking myself knowing how I could have got it for $600. That's a killer price. And knowing that parts of it comes apart, like it's not as big as a unit, I thought it wouldn't qualify for what I would be interested in. Sometimes you have regrets. Sometimes you got to let it go, though. Yeah, Retired Night Owl, he also says, I would have bought that off-road for sure. Man. All right, guys, here in the chat, let me know what you think. This is where it's your turn to talk. We are here 45 minutes into the podcast. Let me turn it over to you. What do you guys think? Let's start with the topic of... Now, I might be leading you a little bit, but honestly... Yes, earlier in the podcast, I said all these negative things about the fake arcade machines, okay? Call me out. Call me out. If you disagree, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to read your comment in your voice. I'm going to try to get into your shoes and tell me your perspective. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to call you out in a way that's like disrespectful. I really want to hear what you think about the items that I showed at this auction. If you want to just participate by saying, this was a really cool machine, that was a really cool price, I totally would have bought it. Maybe talk about your situation with owning arcade one-up machines, or maybe owning, AtGames or iArcade, different home arcade machines. Do you own any full-size machines? Do you have any challenges to owning full-size machine? What are those challenges? Is it the space? Is it the price? Is it, just how much, that's basically space. I was about to say how much room it's going to take up. Like the difficulty in moving it around, right? Or maybe you don't own any home arcade at all. Some people that listen to this podcast don't own any of this stuff. They just enjoy hanging out with the community. Let's see. How much will Fast and the Furious cost? I can't tell you. Because then I'd have to get... I don't know. How much is Fast and the Furious going to cost? Okay. Let's see. It won't be $499 because that's the deluxe price. And the deluxe cabinets don't have a light gun. Like the deluxe cabinets that are out right now. So it has to be more expensive than the $499. So that means it's going to be $599 at least. And then the next question is, will they charge even more because it's a brand new machine? Maybe they'll keep it at $599. It's like it's got the it's got a light gun, and so there's a tax for the light gun. Let's say it's $100, and then maybe there's a tax for it's brand new. Will that be included in the 100, or will it be another 100? So is it going to be $699? Will they do the crazy stuff and be like, it's going to be like X-Men, or we're going to be $750 or some crazy thing like that? I don't know. I don't think they could have do that. I don't think they could get away with it. So it's one of those. Well, being fake, if you weren't happy with how these games played, you wouldn't feel bad making a project out of it. So that's a fair and interesting concept. Like the Joust that was there, I really like the Joust. Out of all the fake machines that were there, the Joust was probably the best. It had the best monitor, had the best looking artwork. It was in the best condition. And the screen looked bright and brilliant. And because it was straight up and down, it could have been TN, but you couldn't really see any of the distortion if it had any. So it looked really nice. And the monitor was kind of pushed up against the glass, if you will. And again, I think the Joust was the best. I think it was like a 5x4 screen, maybe a 4x3. Not really sure. JJ with the fun stuff, Justin. I think the fake arcades are okay at the low price that are asking, and if they are easy to mod further, as long as you know what you're getting and not being deceived. Thank you. This is very true. I feel bad for a couple people that were there and they were bidding up the Class of 81 situation. So it's an interesting one because they're custom machines, reproductions, but they were sold at reproduction prices. Again, to the theme of this show, insane deals, right? But was it worth it? That's really the question. And I love these auctions because you kind of see real market value of some of these machines. Now, it kind of depends because it's the group. If you get a group of people that are buyers that are just not interested in a single machine because they already have it or they don't want to move it, there's all these different reasons. Sometimes a machine will go for really cheap, but then sometimes the machines will go really high. I think at the previous auction, there was a Simpsons cab that was in horrible condition, but it was authentic and had a CRT. It was like $1,600. So it is kind of interesting, these different arcade prices. And I started going to look at the website that will give you, all the different arcade prices that gets updated from time to time, and kind of compare that to, what we're looking at here. And I was kind of gauging this because while I was there, I was talking to this guy Jason, and I was saying, I think the Road Blasters that I have actually doesn't qualify. It's too big to be able to easily by myself get it down into my basement. I tried, I played with it, and I was like, it's gonna stay in the garage. I might actually sell it to a close friend of the channel. We're talking about it, but Jason was gonna give me $750, I want to say, for it, $775. So I was like, oh, is that worth it? If I were to sell on the side, it's in very, very good condition, this Road Blasters that I have. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, so on this website, they have listed here. Let me see if I can find it. So they have that off-road that we were just looking at. So the off-road, they got a couple different versions of it. A dedicated sit-down, an off-road challenge, dedicated sit-down, $500 to $750. Based on Craigslist listing. You can kind of get a ballpark. So that one going for $600 was kind of in that range. Here's a Road Blaster, a System 1 dedicated, and I was kind of talking to this guy Jason about it, and about selling that Road Blasters to him. He wants it personally because I guess he had one in the past, but it got stolen, and he offered $750. He's like, those are worth about $750, and he's not bad. Maybe I was trying to get like maybe $1,000 for it. But so I might sell to him, but another buddy I told about, and he's like, hold it. Reserve that one for me. Reserve that one for me. So I was kind of going through it. And for sure, let's just take a look at, like, I don't know, the Simpsons machine, like what they say a dedicated upright Konami system machine would go for. It's at $1,500 to $2,500. Now, of course, this is for an authentic one. And that makes sense. Like I said, at the previous auction, there was one in not very good condition, a Simpsons 4-player. The CRT was not very bright, not very tight, and it was just kind of dirty. The machine was dirty. And so that one went for like $1,600. So that's in that low end of that range. And I can imagine you could, if one was in mint condition, it'd probably go for $2,500. And this is what I really want, like a mint condition Sinistar. There's something about that game that gives me this rush. And there's only a handful of games. Robotron gives me that rush. Playing mini pinball machines give me that rush. Sinistar gives me that rush. Had a great conversation with a guy at the auction about Sinistar. Another guy said he knows a guy that has 6 Sinistar machines in Omaha. So we might reach out to him. I don't know, do a deal on the Sinistar. That game is fantastic. I have it on a J-Rock, but if I can get an authentic Sinistar, that would be even better. One in good condition, I would probably pay for that. I'd buy that is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to try to catch up with the chat. There was a few things in the chat that I caught my eye, and I definitely want to talk about, but I don't want to skip over some of these great thoughts here. So I have a hard time wanting to pay so much money for a single game. I get the person who wants to collect things. I think he's saying I get that person. I understand that person. But for me, it's tough spending so much money for one game when I could buy something. That's a good point, Robert. I really appreciate your comment and your question or your thought here. I struggle with that too. A lot of the machines that I do own, the full-size machines, they are multi-cates. And the Neo Geo, the PlayChoice 10, the Williams Multi. And I agree with you. And so where I'm at right now when it comes to arcade 1-up or full size, again, I got all these arcade machines behind here. I got arcade 1-ups behind here. And, it's a mix. It's a mix. It really is. But what is coming in common with all of them are distinct value, unique value. A value in the cabinet, whether it be an arcade 1-up or an arcade, if it's an arcade, well, what is it worth? How much did I pay for it? And is it worth it to me? And am I going to get what I want out of it in the sense of the gameplay, in the sense of nostalgia feeling? So I don't want to buy a Joust. I would buy a Joust cabinet and put a multi-Williams board in it, or a J-Rock, which is basically allows you to play a handful of Williams games. And if you have that control panel, that's pretty good. So I have like the dual stick multi-Williams, and my favorite game on it is playing Robotron. It wasn't always the case, but I went to a couple arcades and slowly started to love that game. Probably because Michael B kept on saying how great that game was. And I was like, he's a pretty nice guy. Met him in person, and is it just his preference, or is that game like objectively good? And as I started to get better at it, and I didn't have to play it much, I think there's a ton of games that I've played where I know the game and I'll play it for a little bit, but it's not something I'll play for very long. But when I learned the trick to like win a stage or a level, I remember Quantum on the original Asteroids Deluxe from Arcade 1-Up. I never played Quantum prior to Arcade 1-Up. And there's this feeling of rush. It's not even nostalgia. It's like this imitation nostalgia. What am I trying to say? I never played that game as a kid. So there's no like taking me back to a kid. There's no Ratatouille moment, right? But knowing that it's an older game, there's still some respect going into that game. And so with Quantum, like when it just so happened my trackball from Arcade 1-Up was really good. Some people had some issues with it. So I could get around. The Quantum is this game where you try to draw circles around these enemy bombs that are moving around, right? And if you can complete the circle, you know, you can destroy it, right? It's a very simple game. But you got to be fast. And it's kind of like pinball. Pinball is fast moving, but you kind of slowed the ball down, but you get excited. There's this rush. I was telling my wife about this recently. I was like, I don't know how to describe it, but there's certain games now that don't give me that rush. It's almost like adrenaline. Like there's this hurry up moment, and Robotron does that. Like I'm hurrying up, trying to hurry up. Like gotta shoot all these guys, and I gotta save this person. I gotta go over here, and oh no, it got me. And Sinistar is the same way. Sinistar is like, I gotta hurry up. I gotta collect all these Cinnabons, and then I gotta bomb the Cinnabomb, and oh, he's got me. And then I get better at it, and as I get better at it, I'm like, I gotta focus more. I gotta focus even more. And I gotta hurry up, and I gotta get, and it's exciting. And then some of the games that I used to play as Super Mario Brothers, I've played 1 billion times. And I started realizing, like, I'll still play that game for nostalgia. I'll still play that game because I know the game. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know what analogy I need to use. It feels like home to me. So there's a different feeling there. But it doesn't give me that hurry up moment. Maybe Super Mario World when you're running out of time, or maybe it's Sonic when you're underwater and you're like panic mode and you're like trying to get to land because you're gonna die because you can't breathe. There's that panic, there's that rush, there's that feeling. It feels good. And so going back to your point, like I limit the arcade 1-Up or full-size arcades that I would buy are starting to be, can I move it myself? Am I willing to make an exception on some of the machines that I'm going to need some help moving? I am going to do that for my Pinball 2000 machines. But I'm going to sell the other ones that don't give me that rush. And I definitely want to keep the ones that do give me more value because they're basically like a multicade. And the other thing about the multi-Williams is the control panel is unique. You can play Defender really well on it without something getting in your way. I think the design that the community kind of came up for these multi-William machines many years ago allows you to play a lot of those games at ease. And so that has value. That has value to me. What is up, JT Brunick? And he was there. He was at the auction. He was there. It was good meeting you, man. Let's see. Let me try to go through this a little bit more. A machine like Donkey Kong, I could take a remake, no problem. Finding an original up here in Canada, because he's in Canada, is crazy. And so that would give him options. That's interesting. So a reproduction unit in Canada because of the rarity. There you go. That's pretty good. So here's my recommendation. Like, yeah, they're fake. Remember, we were talked all about it's fake. That's one thing. And just like JJ said, and I think that's great. JJ mentioned it earlier. It's this idea that if you know what you're buying and you're not being deceived, it can be okay. And maybe you can buy those fake machines at a really good price. But what really upsets me is when someone is going to buy a fake machine for $600. And I heard a few comments. And they said, yeah, it's a fake machine, but it's not a one-up. And I was like, excuse me? Excuse me. That monitor right there is a $35 monitor. Retail. That is the worst piece of junk monitor I've ever seen. Do you want to see it again? Are you serious? You serious right now? Like, if you look at the track and field, how much did that track and field go for? A couple $100. You take a look. I feel like that guy. You kidding me, Pam? You kidding me, Pam? He starts throwing things at the wall. That's what I feel like right now. So this was, give you an example. This is a real track and field, right? Went for a decent price, really good price compared to that fake one, right? So that was pretty good. Maybe it's not clean on the side. Maybe it's not crisp. You know, you're gonna have to pay extra for that if you want that. You know, get a really good deal out there. But what was I gonna show you? It's this next video. Yeah, it's this one. No, it's not that one. Ah, man, did I lose it? Where did I lose it? Did I close it? May have closed it. Anyway, man, I really wanted to show that too. It's like the one video I can't find now. It should be the one that starts with... No. Forget this. I have to show you. I'm opening it up. I'm trying to find which one it is. Nope, it's not that one. We're gonna find it tonight, and you're gonna wait for it, and it's gonna be worth it. And I think I found it. No. This is it. I have to find it. Like, I've done this before where I'm like, no, I'm just gonna give up, and then I regret it. I'm like, no, it's you came here for a reason, and I'm gonna show you the coolest thing. I'm gonna close everything that's not it. I'm like, you're done. This is what I have to show. You're done. Nope, it's not you. It's not this file. Bear with me, guys. Maybe there's a little frustration here, but I'm determined to show you what I need to show you. It's worth it. Even it's for a simple point. It's super important to me. I'm going to go through all of them, aren't I? I'm not going to find it. And then that's really going to frustrate me. I got 74, 75, 71. Is it 71? I'm literally naming. Oh, don't make me give up. Don't make me give up. 70. It's got to be 70. Okay, I found it. It was worth it. You're in the chat right now. You're going to say it's worth it, right? Wow. I can't believe I waited that long. Look, you tell me this is better than an arcade 1-up. Someone in the chat tell me this is better than an arcade 1-up. This is a track and field reproduction unit. Okay, maybe it's a single board design. I don't know if it's Android on the inside. I'm not really sure. You love the monitor, right? That monitor is great. The monitor is awesome. Like, that's like the worst monitor from any arcade machine. I think we turned down that volume there. We're about to go up on this. No. See the discoloration on it? No, man. That's a bad... it's not BOE. It's not BOE, right? If Arcade 1-Up comes out, a Kit Bash Nightmare, it may be. I don't really know. Like, I didn't get to see on the inside, but what I was told was it boots straight into it and single board computer, and they indicated like it looked more like a Pi. The one guy who did look at one of the units, he said he looked at the TMNT and that one was real. I wasn't so certain. he was like, the TMNT has a real board in it, a real TMNT board. So the guy that bought that one for $600, I hope it really is an authentic board on the TMNT, but it was just stretched out on a 16:9 monitor. So that would be really cool to hear, because then, you know, he got a deal. I'll ask him at the next auction. He'll totally be there. I don't own any Arcade 1-Ups, but I do own 5 New Wave Replicades and in progress Game Room Solutions 32-inch build. See, there you go. Like, you can go to Game Room Solutions. You know what you're buying. You know you're not buying an authentic machine, but you get to build it the way you want to build it and pick the parts that you're going to put in it, and you can choose good monitor parts that are none of this crap, right? And if it's for home use, sideload a ton of games on it, you know, Pi or however you want to do it, PC, there's a lot of great options out there. When are the Arcade 1-Up Deluxe being sold? Why are they taking so long? So the Arcade 1-Up Deluxe are basically at Best Buy. And what I've been told is go to Best Buy. There's a couple other sites. What is it called? Like deepdiscounts.com. Best Buy is where you're going to go. You want the Arcade 1-Up Deluxe? Go to Best Buy. I don't even think they're going to sell them directly. I think it's like retail only. Biggie D was talking about the Fast and the Furious, probably $6.99. I agree with you. Right, them good parts. Okay, wife really wants a Fast and Furious. Kind of got me excited for it, to be honest. Hey, if your wife is into it, that sounds cool. Her adding just makes me look at the good. I'm getting pumped for it, man. Fast and the Furious could be really cool, man. I don't have a big problem with the fakes if people bidding are aware. That's true. I've been building my own 3/4 plus scale arcade machine replicas fakes, but with Raspberry Pi. No riser, but better built than Arcade 1-Up. See, there you go. Like, if you're actually going to build a machine that's better built than Arcade 1-Up, buy the wood, buy the monitor. That's all great. But you can see my frustration going to this auction and some of these machines going like, come on, man. Did I mention? I don't think I mentioned. Only the Turtles had good sticks on these. And I told a couple people, if what's his name? JT Brunick is still in the chat. He was there, and I told him, go check out Donkey Kong and move the stick around. The Donkey Kong machine on this fake machine was worse joystick than like those crappy like little handheld like joysticks that you would get like at Walgreens. They were that bad. Like, there is no Arcade 1-Up cabinet that has ever come out that had worse sticks than the majority of all of those fake machines. I don't understand it. Like, it's a reproduction machine. The only cabinet that had good sticks was the track and field, because it didn't have any. But I'm telling you, like, let's take a look again. Like, maybe I didn't emphasize this well enough, but yeah, this Donkey Kong stick is the worst stick that I've ever felt, ever. I went up to it and was like, "What the heck is this?" It's like you breathe on it and it falls over. Like, it's bad. I'm not exaggerating. Well, there may be some slight exaggeration on it. Like, literally, if you tried to breathe on it, it probably wouldn't move. But it was like, I think in the video, I grab it. Do I grab it? Check this out. Do you see that? Look at how I flick it. Like I'm flicking it, and it's like moving before I add any pressure. Like, it's got no spring in it. Or like, do they sell half-pound springs? It's yeah, so he says it does look like an authentic. No, it doesn't, right? It doesn't have that like Nintendo look. Yeah, so but whatever stick they decided to put in it, they were like the worst ones you could find on Amazon or something. Like, it was crazy. I don't know, maybe this guy had a budget and he had to put those level quality, like the wood and then like the sticks he chose. I don't know. Maybe he was like, I got some crappy spare sticks, so let me put that in there before I sell them. I don't know, man. See, it upsets me because I'm sitting here and there was a handful of arcade guys that were at the auction that were like, hey, they're repros, but they're not as bad as 1UP. And I'm like, stop. Go actually play it. And then go play a modern 1UP. Like Gen 3 and above. Even the old Gen 1s have better parts. The only thing that was better with these repros was the wood and the T-molding. Maybe. Let's see. I don't have a big problem. Okay, that's what you're saying. I like the fake arcades. They are easier to repair, and the weight reduction is key. Unless you're buying cabinets as an investor, I doubt it matters. It's fair. It's fair. When you're buying an authentic machine, there is a little bit of that investor going into it. You're like, this is going to maintain its value. Hopefully it'll hold up. It's held up this far. You can replace some parts on it here and there. But these faker machines, these newer machines that have new modern parts in it, you choose the part. You can choose a part that's easily replaced. Like it's a PC, bust out. You just get a new PC. It's all good. Using modern standard technology like HDMI. That's not going away anytime soon. So that's really good. Are there any companies making brand new CRT TVs, or is it too much of a niche market? So I remember there being a video by RetroRGB Bob where he interviewed this guy that is actually making new CRTs today. I don't know if he's still making them, but he did at the time of the video. They're $3,000. So I think they exist. So if you want CRTs, there's people out there that do refurbishments of consumer grade and commercial grade CRTs. The commercial grades are like your PVM, your BVM. And so there's this guy named RetroTech USA. He's a content creator, and his business is, that's his business, is selling CRTs that he refurbishes. And so I've met this guy many times, friend of mine. We go to auctions. We've had dinners, not auctions. We went to conventions. I've seen him at 2 or 3 conventions. We hang out. We go to dinner. I've been on his podcast. Great guy. And so his machines that he sells, or his CRTs that he sells, the commercial grade, are fantastic. These PVMs. And when he recaps all of them, he puts 10,000 hours of life back into the machine. And every single machine, he was telling me that he has refurbished for the last, I think he's been doing this for over 5 years, for sure. Because when I first met him, I think it was like 2018, 2019, I want to say. And he had already started his business. He just hadn't started his channel yet. Like, his channel hasn't grown. He's fantastic content creator. Way more subscribers than me. What is he, like 20,000 subscribers and more? His videos are fantastic. Really, really good stuff. He'll like show you how he's doing his refurbishment. He buys the CRTs off of eBay and like covers like, did they ship it in a good shape? And he's like warning people like how not to buy monitors because you're adding risk, and how to get them the right way, and then how to refurbish them the right way. That's the way to go. Is go check him out. And he ships units in a safe manner. I don't have a PVM or a BVM Sony broadcast monitor, these commercial grade monitors. But I've talked to him about driving. He lives in, where does he live? Tennessee, I want to say. Tennessee, maybe? Alabama? I can't remember. Kentucky, maybe? Tennessee or Kentucky. I can't remember. But I was like, dude, one of these days I'm just going to drive to your place. And he's got over 100 machines, maybe 200 CRTs just there at his house, like recapped, ready to go. He may have more CRTs than most people. Like, he may have, I don't know, maybe he should go to Guinness World Records of like the amount of CRTs that are in a single building. Could be this guy. I don't know. Maybe there's a warehouse in LA that has way more. I don't know. But a single person that owns that many CRTs, I don't know another person. Anyway, I was like, I'm going to just drive to your place and buy one of your BVMs. He was at a convention selling beautiful BVMs, takes RGB in, the best way you possibly could ever play arcade games are with his BVMs, $800. But again, it's $800 and then 10,000 hours of life. nearly guaranteed. Like, so far, none of his CRTs that he's ever refurbished has broken down yet. Last time I talked to him, that was the case. So if you're into CRTs, look in that direction for sure. Yeah, for sure. Brand new, they're gone. So Michael was saying, I'm sorry I'm like behind on the chat. I'm going to try to catch up. So what did I buy? I only bought back the Pac-Man Cabaret. I may have said Ms. Pac-Man Cabaret. So I still have the Pac-Man Cabaret. I didn't buy anything else because nothing else that was there qualified for what I'm looking for. I will have 5 pinball machines this year. 4 of them I currently have. 2 of them are in my basement. 2 are upstairs that I got to get down here. And then Foo Fighters is on its way. That's taking up more space. So I'm really changing the way my arcade works. 1-ups are a great option for space and very distinct cabinets. Cabinets that, provide very unique control panels. The Multi-Williams is staying here. Play Choice 10 is staying here. Those are ways to play these games in a multi-fashion way. I have considered selling my Play Choice because, let's be honest, all those Play Choice games play great sitting down on a CRT. And I have a really nice Toshiba CRT that I got for $25. Got a great RGB setup for that, and I can play a ton of NES games sitting down. And so part of me is like, when it comes to just being able to play the game and enjoy it in a way that is just easy accessible, I can just sit down, make a decision. I'm going to play this game, sit down, boom, play it in a very good, high quality way, relaxed, got the atmosphere I want. My room's very dark. When I have all the lights off in front of that CRT, I could be anywhere. I could be there's an arcade that's local that has a lot of CRTs that you can just walk up and play for free. And when I sit down on those couches versus I sit on my own couch, the atmosphere is basically the same. And so I can recreate that here locally. And the Play Choice 10, it's nice. It really is like a collector's item because, again, probably one of my favorite games to play in the arcade mode where I'm standing up playing is Punch-Out. That's kind of fun. But Punch-Out's fun with a controller as well. So, and I have an NES Advantage, and it's not the greatest sticks, but that's kind of fun to play that way too. Let's see. Thor is saying $5.99 is a great price for a real arcade, but the size and the maintenance considerations, I would only do it for certain titles like Tron, Star Wars, possibly a few others. Weez says, sold 9 of my 13 arcade 1-ups because I'm going to see myself losing money going to bigger cabs. Going to full-size authentic until arcade 1-up goes to big cabs, and I may come back. Yeah, man. I hear what you're saying. Totally. My rush game would have to be Rampage. There you go, man. He's just teasing you. Nobody has 6 Cinnabons. Boy, I'm way behind in the chat, aren't I? I love my JAMA Candy Cab best. Throw whatever I want in it. Also, Neo Geo with multi-carts is fun. That's what I'm talking about. That's a pretty good setup. I've thought about getting a Candy Cab. I don't have one. Easy to plug in some JAMA stuff. You're good to go. I use an AtGames Legends Gamer Pro with 7,500 games via CoinOps X and play a lot of twin stick games. There you go, man. Awesome. Yes, JT Bruinick, it was awesome running into you. I wish we would have had more time. No pressure on you. I wish I would have given you more time to hang out. But next time, man. Next time, well, I don't know. If I could go back to yesterday, the moment I would see you, I'd be like, hey, let's go grab a drink, even if it's a Pepsi or something like that, and sit down and chat face to face. Because there was a food court right there, and we could have just chatted. And I feel bad because we were chatting for a little bit. And then I was like walking around, but I thought you were going to follow me. But then I felt bad because you were like walking away. And I was like, oh, man, does he feel like I didn't want to talk to him? I did want to talk to you. I thought you were going to follow me. But anyway, anyone know the difference between the games list between the Ms. Pac-Man and the class of 1981? I don't know off the top of my head, but didn't someone say it's the same? Maybe it's not the same. I don't know. Isn't it the same as last year is the answer? And the website says it, right? So if you don't know this, Thor, I mean, I just don't know off the top of my head. Andy, what are you saying? Is it the same games as last year, or they are the same games? Okay, same games as last year. Man, one thing I do like about the software that I'm working on that allows me to see the chat. Let me, we're going to do this. We're going to pop out the chat here, and then I'm going to show the chat here, and you guys keep it coming in. Do me a favor, if you can, chat, make sure that you're fast forward to the, I'll give you some time, right? Make sure that you have no buffer, if you will. Like fast forward to the, I'm just going to keep talking about fasting forwarding. So if you're not all the way at the top, just go ahead and fast forward. If you're live. And then type a message in, just like hello, and count how long it takes for you to hit send and see it on this screen, okay? And then I'd love for you to comment, it took 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it is. And then I'm going to, just hi, test, whatever it is. I'd love to kind of test. I'm trying to make it as fast as possible. It's on my side is I can't go any faster. 6 seconds. That's really good. Because the StreamYard software is they only show chat every 10 seconds. So, let's see. So, like, you can't get faster than 10 seconds with, basically, it'll show up on the side every 10 seconds is how it works. So anything under 10, like, that's great. I'm happy about. Let's see. So I do want to mention, a lot of people have been asking me, and I don't know the answer to it. So that's really cool, man. I really appreciate you guys coming back with that info. So let me hide the chat for a second, and then I'm gonna share the screen here. So people have been asking, like, where is the Ms. Pac-Man? There's someone that is not interested in the class of 1981, but they want the Ms. Pac-Man, but it's not showing up, and they're coming soon. Like, it's almost like Arcade1Up got rid of it. And I've been wondering, like, if maybe Walmart has the exclusive, but that's just me guessing. But if you don't know about it, if you go to the Arcade1Up website, I'm not even sure if Arcade1Up is going to have these available. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But Best Buy does have them available. People have been talking about Best Buy having them. So go check out Best Buy if you're interested in buying the Deluxe. And a lot of people also don't know that this is a drop-down menu. So if you click anywhere on this product details, it'll start showing all the specific information about it. And there's the games list. There you go. So the 12 games that are on the Class 1981 are kind of hidden. And I really think that Arcade1Up really this checkbox, like, that's not, no. You have a little expander right there, but maybe you should have like an expander over there. Make it really clear that this is like a drop-down menu. I don't know. Someone needs to think about the design on that, because I don't know how many times I didn't know about it. Other content creators didn't know about it until they randomly clicked on it, and boom, there it was. But it's something they should fix. It's kind of, they're hiding all the details. And maybe they're hiding the details. Yeah, it should be a dynamic arrow, JT Brunick says. Maybe they're hiding the details on purpose. I don't know. Like, that's messed up. Like, a lot more people would, like, get that information. Let's see. What did the TMNT with the terrible screen and the Donkey Kong go for? So the TMNT went for $600, and the Donkey Kong, what was the Donkey Kong? A little bit more, right? I'm trying to find it. I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but let me answer that question while you're here. Donkey Kong, $675. Yeah, he was there. He got to see it on purpose. So only real cabs I had to have, because it was a childhood dream, was an MVC cab, and converted to MVC2. Naomi is greater than emulation. Would love a Neo Geo, but value wise, it's better than just to get an Arcade1Up and mod it. Yeah, I think on the value, like, it's a weird situation. It's like, you got the Arcade1Up, and I think that is their value. Their value is, that's not what I meant to do. Their value is on giving you that sometimes reliable, sometimes, more realistic or consistent price, maybe. And you do have the option to mod it for sure. And the best thing that Arcade 1UP could do is to be consistent with their quality, with their monitor. And if someone does want to mod it to add more games on it, you know what you're getting. You know, everyone knows when they buy an Arcade 1UP, they're not buying an authentic machine. They're buying, it is licensed. So that's a plus. And then as we've shown and other content creators have shown, we push them to increase their quality because that's what the community wants. We're trying to be a voice for the community. And they have. If you go look in the past, their monitors were much worse. Now they're better. We called them out. When the monitors got bad again, they fixed that. That's good. This community, not just me, but other, not just content creators, just people everywhere, just on the different forums, on Reddit, on even TikTok, right? Even all these different places, they are complaining, making it clear, Arcade 1UP, what they expect. And they're hopefully they're fixing those things. The next one I hear is the buttons. We'll see if the buttons get better. We'll see. Let's go into the chat and let's kind of jump ahead. So you didn't buy an MK? You said you loved me. Okay. Got to play the Foo Fighters last night. Pretty fun. Board layout reminds me a lot of Avengers. Yeah. I was talking to some more arcade guys, and they were talking about Spooky, and they were talking about all those newer Spooky machines come out. And this guy, man, he just does not want to get Spooky machines in his arcade. And he started telling me all these terrible stories. He's like, the Spooky machine, he knows a guy that like works on it, and so gets a lot of repairs on those Spooky machines. And he's like, the quality's not there. What he says, again, this is rumor mill. I don't have direct knowledge on this, but he says some of the Spooky machines, the balls get lost, like inside. The balls get lost, like it goes down a hole and then drops into the main machine. So Stock Jock says, is your home arcade deals site up to date? I need to double check it. I've been running the script the last couple days to get it updated. I haven't verified it, but I ran it to get today, and I'll show you. Like, this is what I do. Try to do every day. This is my script. So this is the home arcade script, and this is me like running it every day. I'm scrolling through it. And so this is down here in my room, but upstairs in my office, I can share screen and see access to this computer. And I run this script, and it's literally, if you look at it, this is what it's doing. It's visiting every single one of the links, and it's saying, you know, it works on, if you're a software developer, you'd understand it's I have regular expressions that are parsing through the HTML. There's about, 6 or 7 handlers that I wrote for being able to find the price. And that one is, I think, is in debug mode for some reason. So it's actually printing out exactly what it's trying to do. And then here it is, the Capcom Legacy at Walmart. It just found the price of $4.99. And then Amazon, it was able to find it for $4.99. And then what'll happen is this website, I'll get a couple of these errors. It's all written in Node.js, and I'll get these errors where there's an exception thrown. It's like the site, some of the sites, like some of the websites, what do? They hang the connection, and so I won't be able to grab the price, but I'll run it again and it'll grab it next time. Anyway, so it goes through, takes about 20 minutes, and then it outputs that into like a JSON file, and then it writes it to S3. And then the website, when it boots up, it calls CloudFront. CloudFront calls S3, grabs the deals, and then that JSON is basically a config file, is how that works. So the website is written in React, I want to say? Is that what I did? I think I did React. I think the first version was Angular, and then I moved it to React. And so here is the deal website, and I'll explain how it works from a technology point of view. So when you refresh the site, it is going to make a network request, and there's all the pictures. And if I search for just it's kind of fun. I search for the XHR request. There's a config file. So here's the config file. This is what that script is writing. And so this is all the data. And so it says I should pin these two things. So last time I did some pinning, I said, Pin this chair because I got a coupon deal. And for some reason, I say pin that one. And then everything else is dynamic. Like this is the lowest price tracked. And that's based on the configuration. And I'm like, okay, is this a best price? Here's the spec for the cabinet, you know, and I think I don't maintain any of this data, but it contains all the sources of where to get the price. And this is kind of fun. So this price right here is not the accurate price. That's a scrambled price because I don't want people to just like hit refresh on this config and actually be able to know what the price is. And then like steal that information and make their own website on it. So there's a little bit of obfuscation there to kind of mess you up. And then when you click on this link, this actually takes me to another page that is actually where the hyperlink actually goes. Again, I don't want any bots to come across this site and then use this information to like scan some other website. So I keep it all internal in such a way where if a bot comes across and crawls this, if it's the next thing it's going to crawl is just my site, which is this other link here, which is what you're clicking on. So it takes you there, and then it hops you to the real website. Anyway, it's all about that. Was just anti-bot stuff because I don't want people crawling my site. It's not individuals. It's like just Google bot crawling the site and then crawling that site, and then there's a detection that there's an overamount. I don't know. It could be traced back to me, whatever, and get upset. People get upset real easy. Anyway. So when the script runs, where is it? When the script finishes, it'll update that file, and that's how it works. It's pretty basic. I used to have it much more complex, and that was fun. That was a fun project when it was much more complex. It was storing like every single inventory from every single Walmart, and it was looking that up and doing a search, and it was really fun. Then I had to tear that all down when Walmart closed that off. Let's see. I always wonder what it looks like from your perspective. For example, how many screens do you look at? I have no way to show you. I don't think I have a way to show you. Okay. I guess I could do this. All right. So I am in a basement. And so there's drywall right where I'm looking. So there's there's this camera. So if I go like this, high. So I have this camera angle that's coming from this camera. And then I go over here. And right now I'm streaming like this. This is what I see. And you'll see this in a minute when I show you. So this is a custom plugin that I wrote for YouTube. And it has all these little options in here. It's based on one that's public, but I forked it and modified it and also contributed to this one as well. So that tool out there. So when I click on Andy, you'll see a little preview here. And this is some little customization that I did. But what I've also have done is it sends it over here. So this is a tool that I wrote. And I can click on the message here. And that's pretty cool. It'll show it. And then if I go to this, I have all these... If there's any donations that I haven't talked about, anything unread, I can do all this cool stuff. And then over here is a laptop. And then there's another monitor, but nothing's plugged into it right now. So there's 1 monitor, 2 monitor, 3 monitor. And then this is my Rodecaster Pro 2. And the microphone that I'm using. There is an iPad in front of here. I used to use this for music. This is the Stream Deck that I press buttons on. This is the touchpad that I use to move around on my computer. There's my Jeffersons. There's my guitars. There you go. There's my Multi-Williams. There's my Godzilla. And my Jurassic Park. There you go. It's just, there's my lights. All right. A 2-minute video. There we go. So now, I'll see if I can send that to my computer, and then we'll take a look at it. I guess this will be the stream tour that I've never done. Nice job, console fanboy, getting me to do stuff. So let me see if I can throw this up. How do I... Here we go. Copy that. Let me copy the link. There we go. Okay. All right, it's preparing the link. And then in a moment, we will take a look at that video that I just created. If you are so interested in what is going on, it'll take a minute to get uploaded. And until then, I will get the music back on and we'll look at another chat. Here we go. Okay, let's play again. That's right. Sweet. 2 streams in 1. I was gonna ask you, Fox, are you streaming tonight? Because I was gonna check and see if I should redirect you. But I remember you were moving, and I couldn't remember if you were. No, that's right. You said you were gonna really try, right? To do a stream still. Let's see. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me get everything situated here. Okay. All right. Let's see what's happening on the redirect front. Yeah, I don't see anything. Okay. And let me paste in this link. Do I have it yet? I'm sorry, guys. This is taking forever. Oh, it said I couldn't share it. No, we're gonna do this. We're gonna copy this right now, and you're gonna work. You're gonna prepare this iCloud link, and then we're gonna have some fun, and then I'll show you that. There it goes. I'm gonna paste that. There it is. And we're gonna keep an eye on that until it shows up, and then I'll share screen that. Okay, so let's get back to the chat here. Do a U-Haul truck stream. Yeah, so I did get a U-Haul. Yeah, you're almost done with the moving. That's exciting. So I had to get a U-Haul, so there were some expenses on that when it comes to this entire auction project. That was about what was it? $150 for a 20-footer to get all the arcades in it. Then I did end up needing some help, and so I went to the auction, was saying I wasn't going to bring very much, only like 2 items. And the guy's like, do you have other stuff? And I was like, I do. I got about 9 machines I want to sell in total. And they're like, we'll come help you out. And so this one guy brought his truck. And he worked for the auction, came to my house. We unloaded it. So I tipped him like $60. And so I'm in about $200 there. And then there was a 10% buyer's fee. And my total payout was about $1,200. So that cost another $120. Anyway, so I sold 7 machines in the end, and then end up selling 1 after the fact for $600. That worked out pretty good. So I got a little bit of budget to be able to play with for some other projects. And what's on the list for me, I'm really trying to find like a Crazy Taxi. The prices for Crazy Taxi that I see on the different websites look pretty good. If it's exactly what I want, exactly what I'm looking for, a unique stand-up racer from a title that I actually would, just love. Those machines aren't too big. I could take care of it myself. I can get it in and out of my basement just fine. On the next episode of Arcade Flippers, Justin buys 20 cabinets and sells 6. There you go. All right. So Sean Mason says, Console Kids, tell my kids Sophia and Luke, future web developers, it's bedtime as much as they are enjoying the live stream. All right. Sophia and Luke, I have something very special to tell you. You probably love video games. Maybe you love an iPad, but one of the greatest joys you'll ever have in your life is creating. It's the most beautiful thing. And you, as you continue to learn how to write code, if you're very young, look into Scratch. It's the ability to write code with blocks. And it will teach you all of the same things that we professional lead software engineers do every single day. It explains loops, variables, broadcast messages, architecture. You can even learn like best practices of encoding just by watching videos on YouTube good videos that your parents will allow you to watch. Nothing beyond that. Stay within the restrictions that your parents give you. They love you. They're here to guide you through the process. And you continue to learn more and more about software engineering. Every day is like playing a video game. If you start doing the thing that you love and have passion with, you'll never work a day in your life. And software development, since I was a kid, has continued to grow because everyone uses technology. This phone right here is supporting developers across the world. For every person that has to have a phone, there is so many people behind that phone with the websites you visit, the streaming technology you watch. Think of Disney Plus. There are hundreds and hundreds of engineers every day working to make that show that you watch. They're all software engineers. And most of them, a lot of them, are web developers. That's my tip for tonight. But till then, till next time, it's time for bed. You need to go to sleep. You know why? Because a good developer listens to their boss and follows direction. And your boss right now is your dad. And he says it's time to go to sleep. So listen to your father. He means well. He loves you. Take care. Sweet dreams, Sophia and Luke. Sophia, Luke, have your dad buy a subscription to ChatGPT and you'll never have to write a line of code in your life. And also ask for ice cream before bed. I don't know. Maybe he's on the East Coast. Maybe it's late on the East Coast, and it's their bedtime. And maybe the bedtime is they got to go take a bath. They got to do all these other things for bedtime. His dad's got to finish the stream as well because he's got to read to his kids, get that personal time. There's all these things. Anyway, so we're still waiting. Yeah, now Biggie D is falling asleep. He's like, man, you're making me fall asleep. Still waiting for this video to upload, and then I'll show it off. Until then, I've caught up with the chat here. Let's bring the chat up again. It's going to take a little bit before, that's me, video's not uploaded yet. But what we can do is have a fun conversation. Let's see. Show auto chat. Mama, don't get your babies grown to be content creators. Don't let your babies grow to be content creators. Content creators is an interesting term. Like, when I was saying creating content, I was talking about writing code. That's creating content. Justin, do you read Electric State? I don't read Electric State. I don't know what that is. I evidently should look into that. What else you guys got? I'll sit here all night. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll just hang out. We don't have to talk. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool, man. You guys just make it embarrassing. That's right. I'll come up with stuff to talk about. I don't need you guys. I don't need you guys to help me out with this stream. No, it's fine. It's totally fine. All right, let me make sure I got this right. All right. Yeah, see? Awkward silence until video uploads. That's right. We're just, we're just hanging out here. Yeah, I'm not the one making it awkward, guys. It's you. It's not me. It's you. I'm just here to for the next topic. Do you think the price of Tron will come down? Okay, interesting topic. So I had heard that there are some cabinets that don't need to come down in price. And I think the reason why is because there's certain cabinets that have a steady sales cycle. Like how many they have in a warehouse and how many they sell every week at the current price, it's like all they got to do is, let's say that they have, I don't know, 1,000 cabinets in a warehouse. And that costs so much to store. But on their website, direct, arcade1up.com, they sell a Tron for a certain price. And every day they sell 5 or 10 or 20. And they can project. They're like, we can get through the entire stock in this amount of time. So the sales growth continues to just kind of go up over time. And so they could lower the price, and lowering the price can do two things. Lowering the price can bring energy back into that product, get a lot of people talking about it, which will increase sales. And a lot of times that sales will still increase even when the price kind of goes up. Because people were talking about it, people are telling their friends about it. Even if they missed the deal, there might just be a little bit more momentum going in that. The other thing is you can liquidate, right? So you lower the price really low and you'll just kind of flash sale the rest of them. But whenever we see a flash sale from Arcade 1UP, it's typically because, my understanding, based on conversations I've had with John D in the past, I'm just recalling what he was saying was those flash deals kind of happen because the cabs aren't moving at all. Like, no one's buying them. And the projection is they will sit on them like forever. Or, it costs however much to be able to store them. And the projection is they're just going to lose money every month because it's going to cost more than they are currently making. And so they will radically decrease the price. And, when they do that, they're able to liquidate. Again, coming back to the beginning, what I've been told is there's some cabinets that don't need to come down in price because they continue to sell. Let's see. So I just realized there's possibility that I can do this. Yes, I might be able to do it like this. Oh, that's so stupid. Nope, don't want to do that. Let's see. Let me see if I can mirror. Does mirroring work? It does work. Wow. I should have done this a long time ago. I didn't know I could do this. So now I should be able to go like this. All right, guys. Let's see. And it has all these little options in here. Remember earlier? It's public, but I forked it. I'm just like streaming it from my phone. Contributed to this one as well. So that tool out there. So when I click on Andy, you'll see a little preview here, and this is some little customization that I did. But what I've also have done is it sends it over here. So this is a tool that I wrote, and I can click on the message here, and that's pretty cool. It'll show it. And then if I go to this, I have all these, if there's any donations that I haven't talked about, anything unread, can do all this cool stuff. And then over here is a laptop. And then there's another monitor, but nothing's plugged into it right now. So there's 1 monitor, 2 monitor, 3 monitor. And then this is my Rodecaster Pro 2. And the microphone that I'm using. There is an iPad in front of here. I used to use this for music. This is the Stream Deck that I press buttons on. This is the touchpad that I use to move around on my computer. There's my Jeffersons. There's my guitars. There you go. There's my Multi-Williams. There's my Godzilla. And my Jurassic Park. There you go. It's just, there's my lights. All right. A 2-minute. That's it. What? The entire video. All right. There you go. So we did that now. We did that now. Now you know the stream station that I'm in. And I also learned how to stream video from my phone. Wow. Right into the live stream. I hadn't thought about doing it that way. So that's pretty cool. Now I'm wondering if there was yeah, behind the scenes. I was wondering if I could do that, like, couldn't I just like stream my camera directly? Like, would that allow me to do that? Now I want to play with it. If you guys want to hang out while I play, let's see. So can I share my screen with my computer? And it's kind of works. Wow. Let me go to another app here. Yeah, this is crazy. Like, you can't see it yet, but I'm going to show it in just a second. Yeah, I was thinking about jumping to NDI, but I haven't jumped to NDI yet. That's my next move. So I got the 18 Mini Pro. What is it? The 18 Mini Extreme ISO, but it's not the NDI version, or the SDI version actually, and it doesn't support NDI by any means. But some of the products that I've been looking to get, Birdog, that's an NDI device that allows you to wirelessly, basically it's like HDMI over Ethernet, and then with additional data in it. And so let me see, I got this camera app that I think I could live stream. I just realized, like, maybe I could do that. And then let's see, how would this work? Which app is that called? Let's see. There's an app that I got that's really good for the camera stuff. Because if I open the camera, you're going to see just a camera feed with literally the focus and all of that around it. And that's kind of dumb. Never thought about wireless streaming from my phone through this setup. What is it called? No, it's not that. Camera. Well, I can make it look really dumb if we want to go that direction. Yeah. Let me just make it look really dumb, okay? You guys fine with that? And later I'll find that correct app. So this is me full screen right now, wirelessly. Huh? Except for I can't take the microphone with me. I got to go get my wireless. Look, it's like infinite world, okay? So hold on a second. Let me walk over to my pinball machine and see. Let's see how well it works, okay? Can't see anything. All right, guys. Man, now I'm all excited. I was like, this wireless streaming. I hadn't thought about going through my phone for this. Through this setup. And I was like thinking about like streaming Godzilla gameplay, and I was like, well, I was gonna have to buy this and that to be able to set that up, because basically every setup that I have right now is like stationary cameras that I don't really want to move around. So I do have an extra camera that I was thinking of moving around and putting it near Godzilla. And then I wanted to do this thing with Michael B. I thought it'd be fun, like a Godzilla live stream, but like both Michael B. and I stream like at the same time, but we're like competing live. And so I have him in my ear, and then he's hearing me, and we're competing, going back and forth. Like we're basically doing a tournament on Godzilla, who would get the highest score on a single game. I think Michael B will win, because he's been studying up on like literally how to beat Godzilla, and he's just basically got the strategy guide. But like that would be a lot of fun. He would just whoop me, and that's fine. I would still do it, but I'm trying to figure out, I want to make sure this is said correctly, because I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. So Michael B's goal, and I respect it, is to play Godzilla and as fast as possible get to the point where he's very good at it, so he's really enjoying it, getting the most out of it. And I've heard some other people say this, like you should study up on how to play your pinball machines, because that will bring a ton of value to your machine, because you now are very good at the game, and so now it's, you're playing at your best. But when it comes to video games, for me, what I've often done is not gone that route, not done any type of strategy guide, whether it's a like a platformer that I really like. I kind of want to wait till I get stuck before I look at any answers. Look, I could easily say that Michael B is cheating. That's not fair. That's not fair to say that. There is a perspective where that exists, where it's like, okay, I'm playing at a pace and I enjoy that. Like, I'm getting better at it every day, but it's not like I get the best score. Like, the best score I've ever gotten Godzilla was about 130 million, but I haven't got I don't think I've passed $130 million since I've bought this machine. I'm more consistently getting higher scores, so I'm raising my low number all the time. And so it used to be like my low number was like 3 million and 6 million and 10 and like 30 million is kind of like a low. And on Jurassic Park, I can get to the 90 million more easily, but it's harder to get above that. And yeah, I could read up on exactly how to, like, even the instruction booklet that's freaking right there on the screen. I haven't even read the entire thing. Like, right there on the left, it tells you how to play the game. I've only read a little bit of it. And the reason why, and I think this is okay, it's everyone's different. Yeah, there's fun in learning on your own, and that's where I'm at. And so, but I don't feel competitive to be like, I want to do a live stream with Michael B because I want to beat him or he wants to beat me or whatever. I just think it would be fun to do as a content creator, to be like, Michael B and I are going to play Godzilla because by chance we both own one and he'll probably win, but we're still going to have a lot of fun. And we could bring, we share like probably a good percentage of the community, his channel, my channel, similar communities. There's some people that maybe only watch me and a small percentage that only watches him, but the live stream community, it's a similar community. And I think that would just be fun to be like, okay, this Friday night, we're doing a Godzilla. Who's going to win? Justin or Michael B? And it'd just be fun. And so it's kind of hard though, because I thought about doing, like a Godzilla live stream. He did one, and I think that's really cool. I'm really like challenged with how to make it look good. Like how to get and I think there's a big struggle, even the big pinball content creators that go live all the time and they have like setups. Like when I watch them, I think they're great creators. I think they're fun personalities, but it's not very fun to watch top down. Like there's something about it, like the ball moves and it just, I want to figure out how to create that better. And I watched this video by, who was it? The arcade shop. I can't remember. The pinball shop. I know one of the, he's just a pinball shop, this guy I'm talking about. And just the camera angle, instead of it being a top down, it was kind of a side view. So you could see mostly what was close up was, the flippers and the play field. And you could also see in one shot, the back box screen, just in one single shot. And I was kind of figuring out like how to frame it, essentially, is what I was trying to figure out. What is the best way to frame pinball? And I'm thinking about it from a point of view, if I was watching it, what would be the right angle where it would look the coolest? And it's challenging. It's challenging. And part of me feels like I should just do it because oftentimes I overanalyze things and then I'm not satisfied with coming up with the right solution, so then I just never do it. But then that means I'm missing out. Yeah, JT says, low angle 3/4 left and right multi-view would be awesome. Low angle 3/4 left and right multi-view and right multi-view. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got to play with it. The most important thing is, any viewer that was going to come in and watch the stream, I would want them to be excited about that gameplay because they could follow it. Yeah, might have to remove the glass. That's a good point. Maybe at the right angle, or I've been thinking about getting that HD glass, but it's like $250. I don't know, it's tough. Like the anti-reflection glass. I think I need to replace the glass on my Jurassic Park, and straight replacement of the stern glass is like only like 30, 40 bucks and plus a little shipping. But you can kind of bundle it with some other stuff from pinballlife.com. Is a pretty good site. I bought a lot of stuff from Pinball Life recently. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. Maybe I can get a nice angle where there's no reflections. Because it's like while I'm playing it, I guess my eyes are moving, your head is moving, so you're constantly adjusting, and then to expect it's not like you can have a camera do that, like imitate your eyesight and follow the ball. I don't think that would work, but yeah, I hear it's pretty good. We'll see. I did get a shaker motor for Godzilla, and that's great. Only $100 for the shaker motor. It adds a ton of value in my opinion, like night and day. And so now I'm like, okay, this is what I'm afraid of. It's like, okay, you get a shaker motor for Godzilla, $100, not bad. Okay, now do I got to get a shaker motor for a Jurassic Park? All right, so get a shaker motor for that. I haven't done it yet, but I'm thinking about it. And they're like, okay, then Foo Fighter comes. Okay, you gotta do a shaker motor for Foo Fighters, right? And it's like, it's the never ending. So then I'm like, okay, what if I get the HD glass? Okay, so I'll get an HD glass for Godzilla. Well, if I get it for Godzilla, then I gotta get it for Jurassic Park. If I get it for Jurassic Park, now I gotta get it for Foo Fighters. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down that path. I want to be content. I want to be content. Like, I already have plenty. I don't need more. So I don't know. For now, I'm going to be like, Godzilla is the one that is the shaker motor. Friends come over and be like, you got to play Godzilla. I got a shaker motor. It adds so much to the experience. Check it out. Get them excited. I can see my sister hasn't come over yet, but I need to invite her over. She'll flip out over the shaker motor. She really will. Anyway, so we are at that 2-hour mark. I really appreciate everyone hanging out for the extended period of time. Hope you really enjoyed this live stream. I know we were all over the place, but hey, keep in mind, be careful about those auctions. Watch closely. Make sure you know what you're buying. And this is seriously what I have learned over several auctions that I've gone to here in Des Moines. Really go in and examine those machines, because I've made a few mistakes. I have a few regrets on some purchases. You get hyped up in the moment. A cabinet that you weren't even really paying attention to, and off the top of your head, you don't know the quality of it, and you hear that price, $50. Like $50? This machine's going for $50? I gotta get in on it. And I see so many other people do the same. $100, $200. You end up buying it for $200. And it's not very good. So now I have my daughter and I talked about this a lot. Like the machines that we're bidding on, all the detail, we look at it. So we went through it. We're like, what needs replaced? But it's more than what needs replaced. It's how is each item? What's the marquee look like? Does the marquee need replaced? Look at the very bottom of the unit. Does it look like it has any flood damage? Does it have breaking apart? Now, it's easy when you look at a machine and go, is it dirty? Is it cracking? That's fine. You'll notice those things right away. But then it's go actually stick your finger inside that coin return. Is that broken? Will that irritate you that you find out later that you bought it and it is broken? It's messed up. Now you got to replace that. It's just another thing you got to maintain, another thing you got to repair. Press that button on that coin mechanism. Like, really examine it, look closely, look at the control panel, feel the sticks, feel the buttons, and then write that down and be like, we were going to do this thing. It's like, we were going to rate every machine 1 out of 10. Is that meant? That's a 10. If not, so we didn't end up writing it down, but we still examined every single machine. And it was because we took so much time examining every single machine and thinking to ourselves what the quality is, we didn't end up needing to write it down. We were gonna, but it was like the need wasn't there. And so when we were bidding, I saw and in my head knew the quality of every single machine and what I would have to replace to get it to my standards. And so as I was going through at this auction, it was like, keep that in mind. And unfortunately, this time, there was just nothing there that I wanted. And at the quality, there were some good titles, but at the quality, all the big titles were fake. Fake machines, can't do that. Unless it's a really good price, but I just didn't think they were a good price for a fake machine. One that, I don't know, it just wouldn't have that value for me as a collector. Maybe even the replayability. Playing on a 16:9 monitor, Mortal Kombat was just not something that was interesting to me. Turtles looked great, still a 16:9 monitor. Simpsons was great. No, it just wasn't happening for me. The only one was Joust. Joust looked good, but I got the Multi-Williams. And Track and Field looked good on paper, but that monitor was bad. And then Donkey Kong, here's the thing with Donkey Kong. In my area, I've seen Donkey Kong show up. $900, $1,200, maybe sometimes $1,500. But as that Donkey Kong went up in price, it looked good, but the right side of it had a big slash in it. It was black and dirty and just be something I'd have to clean up, something that would irritate me. It looked really bad, like a tire ran into it, like a car ran into it with a tire. It wasn't horrible slash, but it had that rubbery kind of look on the side. And I was like, no, it's fake. It's scuffed up. The stick was horrible. No, I'm not going to get it. And so, was this a bad arcade? No, it was a great arcade auction. It was a great arcade auction. Yeah, but do you want to fix it? Nope. Good point, Andy. And so I felt good because I feel like I've gone to enough of these auctions. I've started learn some of the mistakes. Some of those mistakes cost me money, but I was able to get a lot of that money back, so I don't feel like I've completely lost. And then some of the great machines that I have purchased, I've kept. And that's good. And so what I'm looking for is I'm willing to pay a higher amount for a cabinet that at least the fundamentals of the machine are everything that I want. That's the same with Arcade 1-Up. They come out with an XL. They come out with an XL that's priced at $699. That's like everything that I want out of a machine. They do BOE. If it's 4x3, I'll flip out. 19-inch. Dude, if they do a 19-inch vertical machine, I don't need to do an entire podcast to explain that. Have you guys thought about this? We'll talk about it another time in details. A 19-inch vertical machine from Arcade 1-Up is what they need to do. That will be the best thing they could come out with, because there's no 19-inch vertical machines that are easily accessible XL at $699. It would be so great. Think about it. Biggie D, make content on it. Get it out there. Vertical XL. What game would you want? Tempest? Oh my gosh. Tempest XL with the waterfall deck? Vertical. Tron XL 19-inch vertical. Amazing. It would be spectacular. Take those games and consider paying full price for a full-size arcade. But then it's an Arcade 1-Up 19-inch vertical for like $600? That's incredible value. An incredible value. You know how much a Tron full-size would cost? Qbert 19-inch. There's just this huge opportunity for Arcade 1-Up with the 19-inch vertical. Even a Pac-Man, right? Jason is saying a 19-inch vertical is what I've been waiting for. Pac-Man Super Deluxe 19-inch vertical XL would be amazing. So how about rotating the monitor for Arcade 1-Up like the AtGames Ultimate Mini? Like, that would be really cool too. And that's one of the things that Arcade 1-Up, I think, is done well with, is they have that 4:3 aspect ratio, or even the 5:4. That's fine. That's fine. If it's a good BOE 5:4, that's good. Throw that vertical, make it rotatable. High value in that. Like, at that point, there's a ton of full-size arcade machines. The ones that I really like, by the way, The ones that I have zero problem getting into my basement by myself, by the way, are 19-inch CRTs. Those are the ones that are like, these are easy with a dolly. Incredibly easy with a dolly. No problem. By myself. Up and out of this basement, no issue. You go 25-inch full-size arcade, and it's a little bit taller. You add all that additional weight, and now I need a second person with a dolly. And so it's like, I'm not going to get a big 32-inch or a big 25-inch, like even a 25-inch CRT. It's just, it would be in the garage. It would stay in the garage because I don't know how long I'm going to live in this house. I don't plan on living here for 20 years. It's an investment house that my wife and I planned on. And so there is an end date of us leaving this house and getting a different house. And when that comes, every machine that I put in this basement that's difficult to get in, it's going to be difficult to get out. And that's a struggle. And that's something that Arcade 1UP has figured out when it comes from me. Like the size, the space, the weight to be able to easily get it down into the basement changes the game for me. Still interested for that exact reason. There's been a couple content creators that make fun of me because they're like, Justin can't decide, whether he wants full-size arcades or not. What I'm talking about is I have these limits and bounds that I got to stay inside. I live in an area where it gets cold. I have the space in the garage, but it's useless when it's under 30 degrees. I'm not going to turn on an arcade when it's 5 degrees outside in my garage. I'm not going to turn on my arcade when it's negative 20. And maybe that's my problem. Maybe I need to move out of Iowa. We've talked about that. My wife and I talked about that. That could happen one day. But right now, our family is here. My parents are here. Her parents are here. Everyone's here. And we want to be near the family. They're getting old. You guys know what I'm talking about. We want to be here for them. So it's a sacrifice we make to be near our family. We love them. We're going to help take care of them. That's one of the primary reasons we're here. And that probably won't last forever. And so when that changes, then our circumstance will change. Well, until then, I'm trying not to put myself in a position that will hurt me in the future. The decisions I make today are the decisions I have to deal with tomorrow. I love this community. I love this hobby. But here you go. Here's where we're at. If it's a small full-size arcade, 19-inch screen, it's a cabinet that I'm passionate about, I'll buy the full-size version. If Arcade 1UP comes out with a vertical 19-inch XL, I may buy that one. Easy to get down into my basement, and then it has that game that's just, gives me that rush. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll try to do more of these streams. Again, I'm battle testing this new software that I'm working on, about to work on version 2. It's this side chat. I really love you guys coming and hanging out. I spent a lot of time getting blue to be bright. I even increased the font so I think it would look better. I've done things where I've done live streams and I'm literally trying to look at the live stream on my phone to see if this makes sense for you to look at. And instead of doing the chat on your phone, to just do it this way. Give me feedback in the comments. I love live streaming and I want to build tools. I'm a software engineer. You guys know that. I talk about it a lot and I want to make it better. The next version that I'm working on has inline. There's so many features that I have written out. It's, let's see. So inline voting, where the side of the screen will actually show the vote and you vote with keywords and it'll actually show your avatar on what you voted on. So when you vote, I can reveal who voted for what. You'll see a whole bunch of avatars underneath who voted for what. I'm almost done with that feature. Hopefully next week we'll have that. And again, if you're a live streamer like Rhea, Damien, eventually I'll make this software for free. I don't know how customized it'll look, but hopefully I'll be able to make it in such a way where anyone can use it in their live streams, easy with OBS. And then one of the features, the other feature that I just thought of today, oh my gosh, I had this idea. You guys ready for it? And see, right now it's stuck. You can see Andy is stuck right there. I got to figure out that bug. I don't know why the animation doesn't complete, but I think someone say a message. I think it'll kick Andy into gear. That's just some weird animation bug where it just gets stuck on that frame. There it goes. We got unstuck. So I got to work on that bug. I'm going to make it where you can like other comments. Imagine that. And then, okay, this is the idea. So here's the idea where you have, let's say Rhea said something really cool. Right next to her name, on the very end, you see where there's that little, she's a member, and right at the very end, it shows that she's a member. There's a little bit of space there, and I was going to think how many likes she has would be a number over there. Maybe it's white. So you got blue, and then you got the badges, and then over there, there's a little white parentheses of how many people have liked her message in this stream. So imagine it said like 3. And so what happens is anyone else just ats Rhea or says any part of her name and then like a thumbs up, you make a message that has the thumbs up in it and then a part of someone's name, and then it basically will increment that person got likes. So it's just this idea that I had where imagine, and maybe this is a feature YouTube should have, but until they get that in, we'll try to create it here. And so liking comments, that's right, Rhea. So basically people that are coming in to the chat and they are providing content for the live stream by coming up with interesting points that other people in the community will appreciate. If they thumbs up, they can't click on it. You just literally have to thumbs up and say at Rhea or at JT Brunick with a thumbs up. The software would catch that and then start adding the number of people that have done that next to it, which I think will encourage the people that are contributing content in the live streams to continue, because like this kind of like a reputation counter on Slack deals, like it's doing that. So one of the easiest thing phase 1 to do is just it resets on every stream. But I was thinking about like persisting it and making it where I basically have a little database that JT Brunick is liked by 10 other people. So constantly there's this badge of like 10. Anyway, it was just this kind of cool idea that I thought of. It's like, what is a way to, like, if I worked for YouTube, what is a feature that I'd want to add? And then that was an idea that I had. And I was like, is there a way to do that just inside the live stream? And yeah, Rhea, paying StreamYard for $20 a month and no scrolling comments is not ideal, but it's a simple platform for most people. That's right. That's absolutely right. StreamYard is very good, but again, I'm going to try to make it where we get even better than StreamYard features at no cost, and make that available to as many streamers as I can support. And if I can crack a couple codes, I should be able to make it where unlimited amount of people can use it. And maybe I'll make a site that's maintenance free. Like, oh, just sign up and then you link your account or something, and then put this into your StreamYard put this into your OBS as a layer. And then you go to this admin page, and whatever your live stream is, you'll start seeing the chat messages, and you click on it and it'll show up on your screen. And if you want to hit a button that says, I want to do a side view, it'll overlay the side view. And then it doesn't cost you anything. That would be really cool. And then I would just make it free of charge. And then, I don't know, we'll go from there. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm beta testing it myself, trying to add all the features in it. It's going to take a while because I have a full-time job, I have a family, and I have a hobby. But honestly, live streaming is something I really love. So I want to try to kind of give back to that part of the community, if you will. Anyway, thank you guys so much. You say I'm generous, but I haven't given it away yet. So we'll see. But that's my goal. That's my try. That's what I'm going to try doing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll see you guys in the next video. I think we have the next one is Wednesday, Thursday live stream. 19K Fox and I are going to talk about Mandalorian. And then I'll try to do another chat podcast if I get another beta feature out for this tooling. Thank you guys so much for the support. There's a content creator that hates that I say this now, but I love you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.